Justice League of America number 7.1, aka Deadshot, written by Matt Kint, art by Sammy Basseri and Carmen Carnero. So this is basically just the origin story of Deadshot. We see him looking at his phone to start with. It goes from $0 in his balance to $2 million. And he's like, all right, time to start the job. And his inner narration is basically like, why do I do what I do? You really want to know? My story is not for the faint of heart. And he basically says, like, for a long time I was haunted by my origin story, but now I realized, like, if there is a purpose to all this, who cares? So he jumps out of a plane with this massive ass gun on his back, and we then flash back to the Narrows in Gotham. And we see his parents. It's this horrible rundown place. His dad was unemployed, but finally got a job. And he's like, oh, no, I got this new job. It's at Ace Chemical. They're going to make me security. Everything's going to be fine, honey. I'll be able to get us out of this place. Things are finally looking up for the Lawton family. And we see through the keyhole, watching them argue, is Floyd's sister. And he's like, oh, Floyd, what's going on with mom and dad? What's going on? And Floyd's just laying in bed reading a book of Western revenge stories and whatnot, of like a sharpshooter and whatnot. And he's not caring. He's just off in his own little world. He's just trying to distract himself from the misery they live in. And we see in this beautiful little sequence here, sharing a wall with them is a couple of people who, I guess, are robbing someone, or they've stolen some money from somebody. And then on the other side of their wall in the stairwell are two guys with guns that are about to bust in. And they bust in and just start unloading fire on these guys that stole from them. And bullets go flying everywhere, including through the wall into the Lawton apartment. And they end up killing Floyd's mom, dad, and sister. And he narrates like, why was I spared? I was laying on the bed. They like 12 bullets managed to kill every member of my family. Why was I the one that was spared? And he couldn't figure out a good reason for it. So he got a look at the faces of the guys who killed the people who stole money from them. And he made the deal of, okay, I got in my dad's closet. I took his gun. I'm going to get really, really good at this. And I'm going to make sure that I never miss, because a stray bullet can cause many, many problems. And he justified it under the idea of, it costs more. It's that extra bit of money. Those tiny little bullets add up. But in reality, it's because his parents and family was killed by stray bullets. So he trains over the years. He gets really good at it until finally he sees the two guys that were the ones who pulled the triggers, that fired the guns, and he sees them walking out of a store, and he manages to kill both of them with a single bullet. And so he goes to the boss, the guy who actually ordered them to be there that night, and the boss is like, those were some of my best men. I should kill you for killing them, but you did it so impressively, I'm going to hire you. You're going to be my hitman. And so he pays Floyd, and he starts being the hitman for him. And Floyd's like, yeah, no, I believe every bullet is special, and he shows how he hand makes each bullet. He puts like special microchips and stuff like that. Like, he makes it so that every bullet he fires is super important. And so that's why he's doing this. He's getting this money, doing these things in order to basically live through them. Like, he's making it so that the money he has is the sort of money that they always wanted. So he's making that, and we see the job he's currently on is he's falling out of a plane. There's a guy running around in like a super suit of armor that's completely impenetrable. And so he comes down with his massive high power rifle, and he's like, I'm going to take this guy out. And he shoots the guy through the weak point on his suit, but it's still not enough to penetrate the whole way through. It just makes a hole that goes down to the bottom layer. And he says, and that's why I'm going to shoot one more time. And he shoots a second shot into the hole far enough in that it hits the exact point where he hit before, and it penetrates through and explodes the armor. So at this point, the guy explodes, the suit goes off, and we see that there was a young kid that was there that he was reaching out for in the last moment. Seems like it's a son. And Deadshot's like, well, if there's one thing I've learned, you do not leave people like me afterwards. You make sure you take care of all the people who are going to revenge the bloodline and whatnot. So he shoots the kid in the head and takes him out as well. So He lands, he gets a call from Waller, who is clearly not doing well because Belle Reve was absolutely decimated in Forever Evil. And she's like, Floyd, I want to hire you. I know that my Suicide Squad stuff doesn't mean anything to you anymore. What with the whole world being all topsy-turvy, I want to hire you. I will pay you as much as it takes. Uncle Sam's willing to spend a lot right now, but I need you to help keep this under control. And Floyd's like, let me see the money first. And he checks his bank account. And it goes from 2 million to 12 million. And he's like, all right, looks like I'm fighting for the side of Waller. So it says to be continued in a Suicide Squad tie-in number 24. But yeah, it's I like it. I think it's actually a very creative backstory for him. I mean, the whole thing, once he starts his training and whatnot, like, who cares? It doesn't mean a lot to me. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is he actually went and killed the original mob guy, like the one who ordered the hit that ended up killing his family. Yeah, he killed him as well. So, I mean, I get it. I understand that he's very much in the level of like anti-villain, where he's a bad guy, but he's supposed to be a protagonist. He's supposed to be an understandable villain. So, I mean, I get it, but I think that by the time he gets to the point where he's just killing for money, I don't like. It just seems a bit too normal. It seems a bit too like, yeah. I mean, he's a hitman. That's what he is. I really like the idea of him, though, only shooting what he has to because his family was killed by stray bullets. I don't like that's just really creative to me. I don't see any reason why that wouldn't work. Overall, art is good. Everything else in this issue was fine. I don't really have a problem with the way it was presented. It's just an issue of I think they could have done a more creative backstory in the second half. I think that having him just be a normal hitman and was really, really good at it seems kind of blasé to me. So I'm going to give this one I'll give it a 7.5. I actually really liked it. I think it was a solid backstory. It's, again, just that second half. So, yeah.